Hey guys, it's 1:30 in the morning. I just woke up from Jesus Christ, the kids, Tina, and CBC spirits telling me that Colonel Boone wrote a song, Colonel Boone, and the song is called Dream and Illusion by King Crimson. I asked them, I go, what? King Crimson wrote Daniel Boone's song? And they said, yep. And I go, how did King Crimson get it? And they said, it seeped in. The song seeped. That's what they said. So I got up out of bed, ran to the computer, and punched in King Crimson, uh, illusion or dream and illusion. Mind you, I've heard of King Crimson before, but I've never listened to them. Not once in my life have I listened to King Crimson. So I didn't know what to expect. So I punched it into YouTube, and guess what came up? I'll show you here. Yeah. Dream, The Dream and the Illusion by King Crimson. So I posted it on Facebook where Jesus Christ has a feed. He can look at Facebook posts. So he checked it out and and he goes, yeah, he wrote that. MoonChild, he didn't call it MoonChild. Daniel Boone called it Dream and Illusion. For some reason, King Crimson added MoonChild, the dream and the illusion, including the dream and illusion. Now, I listened to the song. It's 12 minutes long. It's total hippie music, like real hippie music. And, or I can't play the music for you, but here's a song Daniel Boone wrote right here. King Crimson turned around and called it Moonchild, Dream and Illusion. Call her Moonchild, dancing in the shadows of a river. Lovely Moonchild, dreaming in the shadow of a willow. Talking to the trees of the cobweb strange, sleeping on the steps of a fountain. Waving silver wands to the night bird's song, waiting for the sun on the mountain. She's a moonchild, gathering the flowers in the garden. Lovely moonchild, drifting in the echoes of her hours, sailing on the wind in a milk white gown, dropping circle stones on a sundial, playing hide and seek with the ghosts of dawn, waiting for a smile from the sun from a sun child. Now remember, Colonel Boone wrote that in the 1700s or 1800s. I think 1700s, late 1700s. So how did King Crimson get a hold of the song on Earth? Christ said, I asked Christ about that. How did they get it from the spirit world to Earth? And he goes, Colonel Boone wrote that song. He wrote another song called The First Season. I looked it up and it don't exist. Hold on, I gotta end this share thing. So Colonel Boone wrote another song called The First Season, and he was a colonel when he wrote these songs. So that's why Christ was calling him Colonel Boone. He was a colonel when he wrote the songs. But Clutch, Cavalry, it's all synchronicity. Anyway, he was a colonel when he wrote the songs on Earth. He died. He took those songs, him and the priestess, me and the priestess. The priestess was named Elizabeth. She was 16, 17 years old when she got murdered with, and Daniel Boone was dating her. Really young, like really young. She got murdered at her homestead, and she saw the bad guys. The bad guys were the cowboys were slaughtering her farm animals for food. They saw her. She bitched at them. They came over and cut her throat and left her in the mud with all the dead animals. And they butchered the animals and took them. Priestess wrote the tune to it. Now, I don't know if the tune is the same tune as Priestess wrote in spirit world, because Colonel Boone went to live on and marry and have family and everything. This is back at Yadkin River area, Yadkin River, I believe it was called. And Daniel Boone met the priestess because Daniel Boone and his family spent the winter in a cave. They lived in a cave all winter, a big cave. They lived in it. When they came out, they took off. And outside of the Yadkin River area, that town, they found some of their people. They set up shop, started building cabins and everything. And whatever happened, then the priestess happened. So Daniel was really young, like 11. By the time 16, 17, he met the priestess. He fell in love with the priestess. I had a vision of that. And they went on. The priestess died. She got murdered. I went fucking nuts out of my mind looking for the guys for years. Never found them until I met Jesus Christ. I found them dead. They were already in prison down in Desolation. I guess turns out the bad guys did a lot more damage than just the priestess. They killed a lot of people, other people, and were sentenced for that. I discovered it. I discovered they killed priestess. I don't even know how at this point. Oh yeah, I was on the toilet and I was chanting. Truth revealed, truth revealed, truth revealed. And I had a vision of the guy. I told the priestess. She went and found him. She knew who it was. Christ, Christ brought him to me in the spirit world, and I looked at the guy. They had a thing around his neck, a stick with uh, looked like a copper wire around his neck, and they're holding him like that. And his feet were chained, and his hands were chained. And he called me Daniel. I'm like, who the fuck's Daniel? This is Richard. He goes, Daniel, I respect you. I'm like, who the fuck is he talking about? Daniel. Oh, I remember. Fuck. To him, I'm Daniel Boone. Yeah, whatever. So we talked. I made it on a playlist, the Daniel Boone playlist, actually. I think it's in there. And anyway, Daniel went on to be a colonel for a short period. When he was a colonel, that's when he wrote these songs, The Dream and the Illusion. Now, how it got to King Crimson on Earth in the 60s, I want to show you something here. How it got to King Crimson in the 60s. Because the priestess wasn't born yet. She wrote the jingle, the guitar music. Priestess wrote the guitar music. Me and her. When we were both dead, when Daniel Boone died, he met the priestess again, and they fell in love for 200 fucking years, and she's been in my head. They got together again. Daniel Boone wrote the song. He knew the song. He wrote the song and left it on Earth on paper in his papers. Somehow, the papers were handed down through the generations, and somebody found it. King Crimson eventually got a hold of the song and wrote it. Did they know it was from Daniel Boone? I don't know. In England. So I did a little bit of research this morning before I fucking started making this video. Share. Drives me nuts. Okay. Way back in the day, there was a band called uh, A Young Person's Guide to King Crimson. Compilation album by King Crimson, 1976. Well, that was before that. Before that, there was a band called I don't even know. Anyway, they changed the song. They changed the song. They kept the original. They kept the original. Fucking. What is that called? Dream and the Illusion name, but they called the song MoonChild. The Dream and the Illusion. They kept it. See part two. See this MoonChild, including the Dream and the Illusion. But what am I talking about? Because the illusion is everything. Everything's the illusion. On Earth, we're living the dream and the illusion. We're living the dream in the illusion. Do you get it? This is what I've been talking about since I started the YouTube channel, The Dreams and Illusions. I woke up this morning, didn't know shit about King Crimson, didn't know shit they wrote a song called The Dream and the Illusion. First fucking thing that came up, look at it. So, King Crimson, a bunch of hippies back in the 60s, got a hold of my song and called it Dream and Illusion. No, called it The Dream and Illusion. Called it MoonChild, The Dream and the Illusion. Imagine my shock. I nearly shit myself when I saw it this morning. I couldn't fucking believe it. I could not fucking believe it. Anyway, they all knew about it in the spirit world. That King Crimson wrote Daniel Boone's song, Colonel Daniel Boone's song. King Crimson on Earth in the meat world made a song. They called it MoonChild, The Dream and the Illusion. Well, I didn't call it MoonChild. I called it The Dream and the Illusion. Not me, Dana Boone. Boone called it The Dream and the Illusion. He wrote that damn song when he was a colonel fighting in the war in America. And he wrote another song called The First Season. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. I can't even believe it. I ain't got my head around it yet. I'm just telling you everything I heard while I still can. So back to this thing here. These are all the songs and the years. This is the whole thing about King on Wikipedia. A person's guide to King Crimson. A young person's guide to King Crimson. And it tells you about the band and the songs, okay? Epitaph was the writers of this were Robert Fripp, Ian McDonald, and Greg Giles Peters Sinfield. And the song for Moonchild, the song I wrote in the spirit on earth, the song Boone wrote, they called it Moonchild. The writers of the song were Fripp, McDonald, Lake, Giles, Sinfield. So, how did my fucking song get to the meat world in England in the 1960s? Because I guess there was a band, a King Crimson band in the 1960s. See, it was recorded in 1969, 1974 to 1974. But they broke up. The original band broke up. It says it in here somewhere. I don't know where. You can read it for yourselves. But anyway, so this goddamn song, Moonchild, Moonchild, is the fourth track from a British progressive rock band, King Crimson, debut album, in the King in the Court of the Crimson King, having after having been rehearsed in 2013, 2014 by King Crimson, whatever. Song made its live debut after 48 years. 18th October 2017, Austin, Texas. How did they get the lyrics? Because Daniel Boone wrote the lyrics or the poem to the song. How did it get on Earth? Well, how did it get in England? Where well, Christ says it was somehow floated around for generations till somebody wrote a song. Somebody in an attic somewhere, I guess, found this poem, said, "Oh, that's a nice poem. Well, that's a nice song. I think I'll write a song about it." And they did. It became King Crimson. Now, what the priestess did when Daniel Boone was dead, when Daniel Boone was dead in the spirit world, him and the priestess made a song called that, The Dream and the Illusion. They took the song called The Dream and the Illusion and turned it into Moonchild, Dream and the Illusion. Holy shit. I can't even believe it. Jesus Christ told me that. Jesus Christ. The Dream is this is the first time I'm reading this, is a mellotron driven ballad. But after 2.5 minutes, it changes into completely free form instrumental improv improvisation by the band called The Illusion. Oh, by the band called The Illusion, which lasts until the end of the song. Robert Fripp plays a snippet of Surrey with a fringe on top. I don't know what the hell that means. From Roger and Hammerstein's Oklahoma in this section. I like to talk to these guys and see where they got the song. I really would. Song contains. See, there's so much shit. I have to read it. So see, you got America in here. These guys from England somehow. I don't. I'm trying to track. What I want to know is how did they get the lyrics? Because I just want Daniel Boone. I just want confirmation. And the whole time, the whole time I am discussing this with Jesus, my Daniel Boone inside me in the tube is screaming in my head, "We wrote it. We wrote. We wrote. We wrote. We did it. We did. We did. We did." Me and the priestess. Yes, it's true. It's true. 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 No, false. Holy fuck. You don't believe my head. Anyway, because that's where all the Daniel Boone visions come from. Out of the tube. I'm in a vision. It comes up, it goes like that, it goes, bam, I'm in a vision. That's where I get all my visions from. My past lives. And I was having Daniel Boone visions before I met Christ or knew anything about all this. And the ET stuff. Anyway, back to Kington Crimson. Anyway, this band called King Crimson finally wrote a song, and you and Jesus Christ said they didn't write it. They said he said it seeped in. I'm like, what the hell do you mean seeped in? And he seeped in their minds. So there's a songwriter for King Crimson. Either he had it written down and turned it into a song, or it seeped into his mind. It seeped in from his soul to his mind. That's how it works, by the way. It seeped in. The song seeped in, and he wrote it word for fucking word. So I guess hippies are spiritual, the real ones, back in the 60s. They smoked enough dope. That's for goddamn sure. Anyway, Colonel Daniel Boone, Colonel Boone wrote The Illusion and the Dream, or The Dream and the Illusion. The guys that wrote for King Crimson or King Crimson added MoonChild. That's the way it went, I'm pretty sure, from what Christ said. Because Daniel Boone wasn't in the MoonChild. He had MoonChild in the song, Moonchild, but it was called The Dream and the Illusion. Crazy stuff, man. But holy fuck. This is all new to me. All new. I didn't know Daniel Boone wrote the damn song. He didn't have a music to it. He just wrote it like a poem. And when he died, Daniel Boone took that poem and with the priestess turned it into a song. Well, later, somehow, Daniel Boone's notes ended up in either England or the States or something. King Crimson turned that into MoonChild. Christ found out about it because that's the way it works. And now he's watching it on my Facebook. Fucking crazy, eh? So, and Jesus Christ, he looks at my Facebook because I gave it to him, and they have it. Everything I post on Facebook, they can look at it, scroll, and YouTube, all my YouTube videos. But only Christ can. And I think Christ releases it to the general public. I don't know this. things change over time. But the last I heard, Christ does all that. He has the capability for all that. And for going on our Facebook servers or whatever. The general public don't get this stuff. They get their own made stuff they make. But Christ releases it. Christ will release this information. That's why the big hoop-de-doo over me, because I was Daniel Boone. They didn't fucking tell me I was Daniel Boone, but I was Daniel Boone. I am Daniel Boone, was Daniel Boone. Well, according to my innards, I still am. So I don't know. Not my innards, but to the spirit. He's still in me, and oh, it's fucking crazy. So crazy. There you go. King Crimson got a hold of my lyrics and wrote, not my lyrics, Daniel Boone's lyrics, Colonel Boone, and he's verified with Christ. Daniel Boone wrote The Dream and the Illusion. King Crimson wrote MoonChild, The Dream and the Illusion. And if you look at The Dream and the Illusion, we're living the dream in the illusion. And when you die in the astral, you go to the astral or heaven, that's an illusion. And you dream in the illusion, or dream in the astral, or dream in the illusion. So it's an astral illusion. Everything's an illusion. Everything except you. You're conscious and you dream. I don't fucking know, man. That's heavy shit. But pretty cool. That's the way it works. Everything's an illusion. You dream in the illusion. You dream in the illusion. This illusion, the meat world, the meat illusion, you're dreaming. Your soul is dreaming in the illusion. And by that, as you're dreaming, you're creating realities for yourself, things you want, things you desire, things you need to learn. All that, you're dreaming it. And then you wake up and you live it and act it out and have deja vu. I'm having a deja vu. Well, that's your dream you had before, a couple days ago. Just like I've been here past lives ago. In the past. You understand? Deja vu. It's because you dreamt it. You dreamt it, and then you live it. Deja vu. Because like I've been here before. No matter where it was, even past lives turn into deja vus. Just like I've been here before. To bus stops on the corner or a store on the corner you've never been. You know, you dream it, then you live it. So Daniel Boone wrote that fucking song. I can't believe it. They just told me. They just told me. And the worst part was, okay, when Jesus Christ comes and tells you, yeah, King Crimson wrote The Dream and the Illusion, wrote your song, The Dream and Illusion, by Daniel Boone, Colonel Boone. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? King Crimson wrote Dream and Illusion. It's a song. So I get up out of bed, go on YouTube, King Crimson, Dream and Illusion. There it is right there. Never fucking seen it before in my life. Never saw it in my life. 56 years, 56 years. Never, never saw that. So Christ told me this morning, and I looked it up on YouTube. Holy fuck. Daniel Boone. I gotta get into this. I gotta go researching some more. But check it out. Check the song out. It's 12 minutes. They had the lyrics at the beginning, and then it's all acoustic, weird acoustic stuff. Uh, I don't know, but that song, MoonChild, is what Colonel Daniel Boone wrote. There you go. Hope this city, I hope this video is good because I'm going loopy in my fucking head over it, trying to get it out using Christ's words on the dreaming illusion of MoonChild from that world to this world to that world to this world is just crazy off the charts, man. It's hard to do. Really hard to do. Anyway, guys, cool, eh? How fucking cool is it? Just fucking happened. More as it comes. Later, guys.